Millionaire CEO shocked by black boy at interview, daddy's sick, I'm here for him. What he did next. Before we dive in this story, hit the comments and tell us your city or country. Let's see how far this story reaches. If you like the video, please subscribe. When a 12-year-old black boy walked alone into a high-rise corporate interview, everyone laughed until he pulled out his father's resume, perfectly memorized. My dad's sick, he said softly, but he needs this job. Security tried to escort him out, but the CEO paused, stunned. The boy's words, poise, and courage stirred something long buried. This is the story of a child who walked into a boardroom full of power and left everyone speechless. 12-year-old Elijah Jackson lived in a modest apartment in Newark with his single father, Marcus, a hard-working man who'd spent months job hunting after a company layoff. Marcus had finally landed an interview for an assistant analyst role at one of the top finance firms in the city. The night before, he practiced his answers over dinner while Elijah listened quietly, absorbing every word. But at dawn, tragedy struck. Marcus collapsed from untreated pneumonia. With no family nearby and his dad too proud to call 911, Elijah made a choice. He dressed in his father's suit jacket, tucked the resume into his backpack, and caught the subway into Manhattan. He didn't know exactly what to say, but he knew his father needed that job more than anything. As the elevator doors opened to the 34th floor, Elijah took a deep breath. He stepped out onto the glass and steel battlefield of corporate America. Receptionists stared. A security guard approached. But Elijah walked straight up to the front desk, placed his father's resume down, and said, I'm here for Marcus. Jackson's 9 a.m. interview. He's very sick, so I'm here for him. At first, they thought it was a prank. Some executives chuckled. One man muttered something about wasting company time. But then Elijah did something no one expected. Began reciting his dad's cover letter. Word for word, perfectly. I may not have degrees, but I know how to solve problems. I've led teams, fixed what others left broken, and never once missed a deadline. Suddenly, people stopped laughing. Behind the glass wall, CEO Richard Wells watched silently. The billionaire founder of the company had built his empire from nothing, but over the years, he'd forgotten what real grit looked like. This boy, standing proud in a jacket 5 sizes too big, was more prepared than Osmodum. Most grown applicants. Bring him in, Wells said. Inside the interview room, Elijah answered questions like a pro. Not technical ones, but human ones. What made Marcus a good leader? What did he teach you about responsibility? What would he do if hired? Elijah didn't flinch. He'd be the first to arrive and the last to leave. He'd never stop trying, even when sick, because he didn't stop today. CEO Wells leaned back in his chair, silent. Then he stood, walked to the window, and took a deep breath. Turning around, he looked Elijah in the eyes. You said your father's sick? Yes, sir, at home. I checked on him before I came. The room held its breath. Wells picked up the phone. Send a company car. Take Elijah home and bring his father here when he's stable. And tell HR to fast-track his application. Then he turned to the boy. Your father raised a lion. That kind of heart? We need more of it in this company. Elijah smiled, his eyes welling up, but he didn't cry. He just nodded, just like his dad taught him. Marcus Jackson recovered within a week. When he stepped into that same interview room wearing a fresh suit and disbelief in his eyes, the CEO personally shook his hand. You're already hired, Wells said. Because your son? He already passed the hardest interview of them all. Marcus worked his way up the company in record time. But it wasn't just about the job. The firm launched a mentorship program that year pairing executives with underprivileged youth, all inspired by Elijah. As for Elijah, he never bragged. But when his school asked him to write about a hero, he wrote one sentence. My dad taught me that being a man means showing up, even when it's not your turn yet. What would you do if your child had to stand in for you? Share this story if you believe heart matters more than titles. Take care.